The Galactic Council erupted in mocking laughter as the human ambassador unveiled the fossilized remains of Earth's ancient war beasts. But the human knew the punchline before the alien leaders even finished their first chuckle. These monstrosities were very much alive, and when released, would turn the Council snickering into screams. Terry Robertson, clad in rugged leathers stained by countless battles across the stars, sneered at the sleek, pompous alien delegates. They heckled Earth for its primitive ways. Hector, the Council's spindly, condescending leader, declared the human relics showed no signs of viability. Terry produced a small metal device, revealing the beasts were merely in stasis, thanks to secrets learned from the extinct Protheans. With the press of a button, the chamber fell silent as the savage pack of earthen predators stirred. Hulking, wolf-like monstrosities rose up on powerful haunches, razor claws extending, jaws snapping, eyes blazing crimson. The Council members recoiled in horror as Terry's smirk widened. He knew that without these beasts, without proving humanity's worth here and now, Earth would be forever enslaved or eradicated by the Galactic Council's cruelty. This was humanity's last stand. "You mocked our history, our heritage," Terry snarled, voice low and laden with menace. "Now witness the true power of Earth's ancient guardians, and remember the folly of underestimating the human race." The Warbeasts stalked the Council chamber, their claws clicking against the polished floor. Terry stood tall amid the growing tension, his eyes locked on Hector's trembling form. "These creatures were once the loyal companions of our ancient warrior tribes," Terry began, his voice low and steady. "They fought alongside us in countless battles, their strength and ferocity unmatched by any foe." Hector, struggling to maintain his composure, demanded, "How did you keep such dangerous beasts under control?" A dark chuckle escaped Terry's lips. "We didn't control them. We formed a bond, a symbiotic relationship. They fought for us, and in return, we provided them with the one thing they craved above all else, human blood." Gasps of horror echoed through the chamber, and Hector's eyes widened in disbelief. "You mean to tell us that you willingly sacrificed your own kind to these monsters?" Terry shook his head, a glint of pride in his eyes. "Not sacrificed, volunteered. Our bravest warriors would offer their blood to the beasts, forming an unbreakable bond. The more blood they consumed, the stronger and more loyal they became." As if sensing its cue, one of the Warbeasts approached Terry, its massive head lowered in submission. Terry reached out, running his hand along the creature's snout with a hint of affection. "But the beasts weren't the only ones who changed," he continued, his voice growing more ominous. "The warriors who bonded with them gained enhanced strength, speed, and senses. They became something more than human, something terrifying to behold on the battlefield." The Council members exchanged uneasy glances, the implications of Terry's words sinking in. Hector, his voice trembling slightly, asked, "And what happened to these enhanced warriors and their beasts?" Terry's expression darkened, a shadow passing over his face. "They disappeared, vanished without a trace after our last great war. Some say they went into hiding, waiting for the day when they would be needed again. Others believe they transcended mortality itself, becoming something beyond our understanding." The Warbeasts, as if sensing the growing unease in the room, began to growl and snap their jaws, their eyes glowing brighter with each passing moment. The air grew thick with tension, the Council members shifting nervously in their seats, as the beasts paced ever closer, their hot breath filling the chamber with the scent of ancient battles and primal hunger. Hector rose to his feet, his body quivering with a mixture of outrage and fear. He pointed a long, bony finger at Terry, his voice echoing through the Council chamber. "Enough of this nonsense. You will remove these creatures from the Council chamber at once and submit to a full investigation. The Galactic Council will not be intimidated by ancient myths and fairy tales." Terry, his posture relaxed and his expression unperturbed, met Hector's gaze with a smile. "I didn't come here to intimidate you, Counselor. I came to warn you." He reached into his jacket, his movements slow and deliberate, and withdrew a small, ancient-looking scroll. The parchment crackled as he unrolled it, revealing intricate symbols and faded text. "According to this prophecy, passed down through generations of my people, the Warbeasts will awaken when the galaxy faces its greatest threat, a darkness that will consume everything in its path, leaving nothing but chaos and destruction in its wake. The council members began to murmur amongst themselves, their voices a mix of skepticism and growing unease. Some dismissed Terry's words as mere superstition, rolling their eyes and scoffing under their breath. Others, however, leaned forward in their seats, their expressions growing more concerned with each passing moment. Terry continued, his voice low and ominous, each word weighted with the gravity of his message. The prophecy speaks of a great battle, one that will determine the fate of the galaxy, and at the forefront of this battle will be the enhanced warriors and their warbeasts leading the charge against the darkness. As if responding to an unheard signal, the warbeasts suddenly grew still, their muscular bodies tensing and their ears twitching as if detecting a distant sound. Terry cast his gaze around the chamber, his eyes hardening with grim determination. They sense it. The darkness is coming, and we must be ready. Hector, his face drained of color and his hands trembling, demanded, "What is this darkness you speak of? How do we stop it?" Terry shook his head, his expression somber. "I don't know. The prophecy is vague, speaking only of a great evil that will emerge from the depths of space. But one thing is clear. We must put aside our differences and unite if we hope to survive." The council chamber erupted into a cacophony of voices, the members arguing amongst themselves. Some called for immediate action, demanding that the council mobilize its forces and prepare for the impending threat. Others, their voices tinged with fear and doubt, insisted on further proof, unwilling to take action based on the words of an ancient prophecy. Amidst the chaos, Terry and his warbeasts stood silent and resolute, their eyes fixed on the horizon, as if waiting for the first signs of the approaching darkness. The air in the chamber grew heavy with tension, the weight of the prophecy's words hanging over them like a suffocating blanket. As the council members' arguing reaches a fever pitch, the chamber suddenly quakes beneath their feet. The lights flicker ominously, casting eerie shadows across the room. Cracks splinter through the once pristine floor, jagged lines snaking outward from the center of the chamber. Terry and the warbeasts hold their ground, unfazed by the tremors, their eyes narrow, scanning the room for any hint of the impending danger. Hector's voice rises above the commotion, shrill with panic. "What's happening? Is this the darkness you spoke of?" Before Terry can respond, a deafening roar shakes the very air around them. It reverberates through the chamber, a primal, unearthly sound that sends chills down the spines of all who hear it. Explosions follow in quick succession, each one more powerful than the last. The building's foundation shudders, threatening to crumble beneath the onslaught. The council members, consumed by terror, scramble towards the exits in a frenzied attempt to escape. But as they approach the doors, they find their path blocked by a swirling mass of black smoke. It writhes and twists, a living, breathing entity that seems to possess a malevolent intelligence. Terry's voice cuts through the chaos, calm and steady. "Stay close to the warbeasts, they will protect you." As if responding to an unspoken command, the warbeasts move swiftly, forming a defensive perimeter around the remaining council members. Their hackles rise, and their teeth bare, in a fearsome display of aggression. Low growls rumble in their throats, a warning to any who dare approach. The black smoke, no longer content to remain an amorphous mass, begins to coalesce. It takes on a more tangible form, shaping itself into a group of shadowy figures. Each one wields a weapon that seems to be forged from the very essence of darkness itself, a pulsing, inky blackness that radiates an aura of dread. Terry steps forward, his eyes blazing with fierce determination. He confronts the figures, his voice unwavering. "Who are you, and what do you want?" The tallest of the figures, its form cloaked in shadows, responds with a guttural growl that echoes through the chamber. "We are the harbingers of the darkness, the bringers of chaos and destruction. We have come to claim this galaxy as our own, and nothing, not even your pathetic warbeasts, can stop us." With a roar of defiance that rivals the warbeast's own, Terry charges towards the shadowy figures. His warbeast, a hulking mass of muscle and fury, lunges forward at his side. They move as one, a seamless unit honed by countless battles and an unbreakable bond. The council members watch in awe as Terry and his beast engage the shadowy figures in a fierce battle. They become a blur of teeth, claws, and flashing weapons, moving with a speed and ferocity that defies belief. The chamber fills with the sounds of clashing blades and snarling beasts, a cacophony of violence that drowns out all other noise. Despite their bravery and skill, it soon becomes apparent that Terry and his beast are outmatched. The shadowy figures grow stronger with each passing moment, their weapons slicing through flesh and bone with sickening ease. Terry's beast howls in pain as a dark blade finds its mark, leaving a gaping wound that oozes crimson blood. Terry himself is battered and bruised, his leather armor torn and his skin slick with sweat and blood. But he refuses to yield, his eyes burning with an unquenchable fire as he continues to fight against the encroaching darkness. The council members, huddled behind the protective wall of warbeasts, can only watch in horror as the battle unfolds. They see the shadowy figures press their advantage, forcing Terry and his beast back with each relentless strike. The air grows thick with the stench of blood and the tang of fear, a palpable weight that settles over the chamber like a suffocating blanket. As the battle between Terry, his warbeast, and the shadowy figures rages on, the council members watch in growing horror, as the human and his companion are slowly overwhelmed by the relentless onslaught. The shadowy figures, their weapons pulsing with an unearthly darkness, press their advantage, driving Terry and his beast back with each devastating blow. In a moment of desperation, Terry throws himself in front of his warbeast, shielding the creature from a fatal strike. The blade, forged from the very essence of shadow, pierces Terry's chest, and he staggers back, his eyes wide with shock and pain. The warbeast, sensing its master's distress, lets out a deafening roar that shakes the very foundations of the chamber, the sound reverberating through the bones of all who hear it. As Terry collapses to the ground, his life ebbing away, the warbeast's eyes blaze with a fierce determination. A blinding light emanates from the creature's body, engulfing the chamber in an ethereal glow. The council members shield their eyes, unable to comprehend the transformation unfolding before them. The warbeast's form begins to change, its muscles rippling and bulging beneath its fur. Its body grows larger, more powerful, until it stands twice its original size. The creature's fur, once a dull grey, now shimmers with a brilliant golden hue, each strand pulsing with an inner light. With a speed and strength that defies belief, the transformed warbeast charges towards the shadowy figures, its claws tearing through their ranks like a scythe through wheat. The creatures of darkness, once so formidable, now fall before the beast's onslaught, their weapons shattering against its golden hide. Hector, his eyes wide with realization, turns to his fellow council members. "The prophecy," he whispers, his voice trembling with a mixture of awe and fear. It spoke not just of the warbeasts and their enhanced warriors, but of the unity of all species in the face of darkness. Emboldened by Hector's words and the warbeast's display of power, the council members leap into the fray, their own unique abilities coming to the fore. Energy blasts, telekinetic waves, and otherworldly incantations fill the air as the once-divided council fights as one against the encroaching darkness. The battle rages on, the chamber echoing with the sounds of clashing weapons, snarling beasts, and the cries of the wounded. The shadowy figures, their numbers dwindling, begin to retreat, unable to withstand the combined might of the warbeast and the council. At last, the darkness is driven back, the remaining shadowy figures fleeing into the depths of space. The council members, battered and bloodied but victorious, gather around the fallen form of Terry and his warbeast. The beast, its transformation fading, lets out a mournful howl as it collapses beside its master, its golden fur dulling to a lifeless grey. Terry, his body broken but his spirit undefeated, lies still upon the chamber floor, a small smile etched upon his face. Hector, his voice heavy with emotion, addresses the council. "Today we have witnessed the true power of unity. The human, Terry, and his warbeast showed us that we are stronger together than we ever could be apart. Let their sacrifice be a reminder of the importance of standing together in the face of darkness. The council members, their differences forgotten in the face of their shared triumph and loss, bow their heads in respect for the fallen heroes. The galaxy, though saved, has paid a heavy price. As the council members slowly leave the chamber, they do so with a newfound sense of purpose, knowing that they must remain ever vigilant against the darkness that threatens to consume them all. The legacy of Terry and his warbeast, a testament to the power of courage, sacrifice, and the unbreakable bond between human and beast, will live on in the hearts and minds of all who witnessed their bravery. You have reached the end of the story. If you enjoyed this story and want to support us, please leave a like and subscribe to our channel, and for every comment that says 88, I will heart every single one of them. Thank you for your time.